Right now, and new at 6, 100 plus.
It does get rough, you know, but sunscreen and everything helps.
How Portlanders both at work and play are coping with record high heat. And haze on the horizon. How much longer you can expect the Pacific Northwest to be surrounded by smoke. Plus, playground problems. Heat stroke isn't the only concern if you take your kids out to play when weather is this hot. The hidden dangers you should look for.
This is a KATU Storm Tracker weather alert.
Well, there are some folks who are at higher risk for health problems from wildfire smoke.
Well, look around. Not hard to see an uncommon haze masking our usual pristine summer views here in Portland, the result of smoke from nearby wildfires being pushed into our area. Those fires fueled by record heat hitting the area tonight. In fact, let's take a live look at the skyline for you. You see the haze out there. It is definitely warm. In fact, almost 6 o'clock. It is still 99 degrees out there. Thanks a lot for being with us, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. We are in day 4 of extreme heat in the Pacific Northwest. Everywhere from southern Oregon to northern Washington, seeing temperatures well into the hundreds, and that thick haze bringing air quality concerns. We have live team coverage tonight in hopes of answering all of the questions you have about the temperature and the air. But first, let's get to that forecast. Meteorologist Dave Selesky, did we break a record?
We broke several records today, Deb. As a matter of fact, all across the Pacific Northwest. We'll give you the numbers for you right now. Take a look at some of these numbers. Here in Portland today, we hit a record high temperature of right up around 103 degrees. Breaks the old record of 96 degrees set back in 1999. Salem, 107. Hillsborough topped out at 105. Again, these are all records. Troutdale 105, McMinnville 106, and over on the coast at Astoria, yep, record there as well. 93 degrees. Get a load of this. Here are the current numbers for you across the area. We're still sitting at 100 degrees up in Vancouver, 102 in Wilsonville. Salem still sitting on their high temperature for the day of 107, and Forest Grove up in the Coast Range at 103 degrees at this time. Now, there is some relief on the coast, as you can see from our live camera. This is down at the Inn at Spanish Head in Lincoln City, south of Astoria. Temperatures there are still in the upper 70s. Meanwhile, like Steve said at the top of the show, we're sitting at 99 degrees at this time, with northwest winds at 7 miles an hour. Very hazy, very smoky conditions as well. We'll talk more about air quality and when to expect a break from this heat wave. I'll have that for you in about 10 minutes from right now. Steve and Deb, stay cool.
Okay, Dave, thank you so much. Well, TriMet apologizes for a system outage that has dragged on for days, left hundreds of people stuck at some MAX stops Tuesday, and forced the agency to let passengers ride for free today.
KATU's Bob High digging into this story. Joins us live in downtown Portland. And Bob, one group says TriMet should have known this might happen.
Yeah, they claimed they warned TriMet months ago that the system switch out and upgrade could shut systems down across the agency. Electronic monitors that usually show arrival times at the Gateway MAX station instead showed nothing at all offline because of the system software problems. TriMet says the problem started last weekend when crews installed new hardware in a system upgrade.
We hope it will be resolved soon. They are in there right now working hard trying to get this fully up and running.
They told them what was going on. They said it's, matter of fact, a conversation took place at Ruby Yard, and it should have been put out there. Now we're going to have a problem. Let's listen to what's going on. But nothing was listened to.
The union representing bus and MAX operators says its members warned TriMet managers months ago that that system upgrade might cause crashes just like this. TriMet didn't respond to our request for comment on that allegation. TriMet says it also doesn't know how long it may take to actually fix all of those problems. Live in downtown Portland, Bob High, KATU News.
Bob, thank you. And the outage isn't the only headache TriMet is dealing with. The heat is also taking its toll.
KATU's Catherine Kissel live at the Gateway station for us now. And Catherine, they're having to do some shuffling there.
Yeah, they really are, Steve and Deb. We've noticed that operators are really working their butts off here to make sure that everyone gets home safely. The green line was suspended around 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then this was the drop-off point here at Gateway. All these folks getting off the green line and getting onto the buses to make sure they could get to their destination. That next line was Maine, and that was the last stop then for the buses. We met a few riders who say it wasn't so much waiting for the trains today, it was the actual ride that took longer. We actually heard from several riders that that was the case pace today. We met a guy who usually goes from downtown to Main, and he says most days it takes 10 to 15 minutes, but today it took 45 minutes.
It's crowded and hot, and you don't get any information except that it's taking a while. There's an issue at Gateway, so.
Now, we were at Rose Quarter earlier today. That was another busy spot. Riders told us delays weren't too bad, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Otherwise, the air conditioner was working on the buses and the MAX, and the rides were going smoothly. A couple more problems to tell you about. The elevator at the Bybee station was down today. Also, the West Commuter Rail also suspended, so they had to get shuttles out there for those folks who needed to go between Wilsonville and Beaverton. We're live in Northeast Portland. Catherine Kissel, KATU News.
Catherine, thank you. So many issues all over the place today. Oregon Governor Kate Brown declaring a state of emergency because of extreme fire danger in our state. Take a look at these pictures just into the KATU newsroom, courtesy Sarah Bartell. This is a brand new look at the wildfire burning in the Mount Jefferson Wilderness area. It's just one of several fires crews are working to contain at this hour. Governor Brown saying Oregon is in a critical fire danger situation, and today's declaration frees up help from the National Guard.
Smoke from several Pacific Northwest fires now settling in Portland. Officials declaring air quality unhealthy for some of you.
KATU's Keaton Thomas joins us live in North Portland. Keaton, who's at risk here?
Well, Stephen, it's babies, it's the folks over 65 years old, and then those with underlying lung or heart conditions. It's for those folks that really this kind of haze that's settled in over Portland that you can get a good view of from here at Overlook Park, you should be worried about. It's now run through this. If you are healthy, you may not notice any issues from the smoke, but if you have something like asthma or other lung issues, doctors say it can cause something like shortness of breath or coughing. Dr. Richard Lehman says the biggest concern for them on days like this is for those with an underlying heart condition like heart disease. For those folks, the fine particles in this smoke could lead to something like a serious heart attack. So to beat the smoke and as well beat the heat, he says there's a few options.
If you can stay inside, if you're in one of these sensitive groups, if it's getting too hot at home, you could even just go to the movie theater or go to the mall or someplace where it's air conditioned.
And there's other air quality concerns as well. For instance, ozone is up right now, which is also not good for your health. Experts say that's partially thanks to the heat and those fine particles in the air. And while we're already experiencing some unhealthy conditions, the Department of Environmental Quality is asking everyone to limit their own pollution that they might be doing at home. For instance, and namely one of those pollution sources is driving less. They want people to drive less, maybe not mow your lawn or don't use an aerosol. And as for this haze, I'm told that it should stick around till about Friday, but then as we go through the weekend, it might finally get out of Portland. Right now, we're live in North Portland. I'm Keaton Thomas, KATU News.
Keaton, thank you. And the situation in Southern Oregon is even worse. KATU's Autumn Robertson explains why.
Here in Southern Oregon, we can see a high of around 114 degrees today. Now, that's possibly breaking or close to breaking any type of record highs that we've ever seen. So that's why we're here at the National Weather Service today, not just to talk about heat, but also to talk about air quality. There's a few fires along in our region, one in Siskiyou County, one in Modoc County, and here's one of the ones that's closer to us in our region, the one in Prospect. And that's going to be bringing some of that smoke into the region, as you saw yesterday and also today, some smoke and haziness in the area. And there's also a fire, you see that black spot, that's a fire hot spot that's closer to Portland in those areas, and that's possibly bringing some smoke down here too. So while the air quality level is at moderate, it still might not be the best stage to do any outdoor activities, especially if you have any allergy-related illnesses or also asthma-related illnesses. The mixture of that heat and also the mixture of that smoke may not be the best mixture at all. Out of Medford, Autumn Robertson.
Autumn, thank you for that. And this is new at 6 now. The heat is also having a big impact on construction season. Some projects delayed, others adjusting, all while trying to stay safe and healthy in these triple-digit temperatures.
KATU's Kelly Azer is live in Southeast, where crews really have to be careful, Kelly.
They sure do. And now normally behind us you would see a site full of construction workers, but as you can see, they're all gone. They cleared out just a few hours ago, working hard to stay on schedule but also avoid heat stroke. Despite the heat, you can still hear the soundtrack of Portland. Construction crews all across the Rose City continue to work hard as temperatures rise into triple digits. But today is a little different than normal for this crew on Southeast Belmont and 6th.
We get a good 12 hours in usually every day, so starting at 7, but now we've changed that.
Instead, the KATU construction crew started working before the sun came up.
5:30 and then kind of judging it by the weather, but probably around 3.
What they got done changed too.
It's going to be hard to finish concrete. It definitely runs our guys around because the concrete gets a lot harder faster.
For crews on Northeast 20th and Gleason, the weather this year is blamed for multiple delays.
We had a lot of delays in the winter from the ice. The storms that hit, it delayed us then, and then, during the summer now it's delaying us here.
As crews keep working, their focus, get things done and stay safe.
Try to stay as much as we can in the shade, lots of water.
Same goes for our city and state crews across the region.
Our crews who would normally perform maintenance activities are performing road patrols today.
Many state construction sites, like those on I-5, sit empty.
We've switched to sweeping operations or another operation to ensure that people are in a climate-controlled environment.
For most crews, adjustments are necessary to stay on schedule.
We don't feel that this heat is going to put us behind. We just need to adapt.
And that's good news for all of us. As long as construction crews still continue to make those adjustments in the heat will not affect the overall schedule. We're live in Southeast Portland. Kelly Ozair, KATU News.
Kelly, thank you. To check the temperature of the pavement before walking your dog, but coming up tonight, the hidden dangers heat can pose to your kids.
Plus, one of the most frustrating parts of extreme heat can be trying to sleep in it. Coming up, the ABCs to getting better Z's.
And I'm Joe English on the East Bank Esplanade, where we are seeing all kinds of people trying to beat the heat. But we figured, hey, why fight it? Why not make the heat work in your favor? We'll show you what we came up with in just a couple of minutes.